It is about that time. Right on time. That's okay. We are starting right when we're supposed to start. Welcome back to another phenomenal and powerful episode on Ready, Set, Real Estate. I am so ecstatic to actually be covering property inspections today. And all the way from Philly, I am bringing our guest, Corwin Jackson. Corwin Jackson is owner of Core Inspection Group, one of the leading Philadelphia inspection companies. And what an honor to have Corwin on the show. Corwin, welcome to the show. How are you?
Lisa, well, thank you for inviting me. Let me first say how happy I was to hear you guys won for Best Author of the Year.
Yay!
And I know that put a huge smile on my face. I'm sure that put a huge smile on yours as well. So
it did.
Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Absolutely, it did. And, I cannot do certain things. I cannot go beyond in this show without acknowledging my co-author, Philly real estate partner, and really our mutual connection, Anthony Lee, who's doing things. Really, really proud of him. And this is what it's about. You know, it has been about connecting with people and building together. So this is, for me, I'm in a very, very happy space about this. So for those of you who are new to the show, welcome. And who are listening to the radio podcast, we have just been added to Spotify as of this past weekend. So we are growing. Not only are we on Stitcher Radio, where we have been given access to 4 million car dashboards across the country, but we are now on Spotify, and everybody loves Spotify.
Awesome. Yes, they do.
So, Corwin, I shared with people that you're from Philly, and share with us just kind of the story, what part of Philly and how you got started in real estate. You're very integral to what we do in this business.
Yeah, sure. So it's a funny thing you say that. So what home inspection? I know when people think real estate, what do they think? Hey, I want to be a sales professional, or they think I want to be a real estate agent. So I'm born and raised in North Philadelphia, went off into the Marine Corps for many years. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I found myself in corporate America in a management position, and real estate was always my passion. So I was buying houses, I was renting them, I was flipping some of them, but that wasn't my 9 to 5. So the thought always was, hey, how do I get into this as a 9 to 5? And
yes.
Of course, all my friends and family say, well, just be a realtor. It's so glamorous. It's so fun. It's so easy. And I tell you, people don't know real estate agents, they work really hard. And I didn't have, I think, the patience that most of you guys have. That's a strength. And just by luck, I managed to bump into a gentleman who was running a home inspection company. I was fascinated about it, because I tell you what, as an investor, walking into those houses, I wanted to know about the mechanicals of the property. I wanted to know about the structural integrity of the property. And I can remember sitting down talking to him and his wife for dinner, and I asked the guy, I said, well, how busy are you? I said, is this really is this keeping you guys that busy that you need to bring on and train another inspector? And him and his wife just looked at each other and laughed.
I love it. And I'm
looked at each other and laughed.
I'm so happy that you said that. And this is so very key about people really comprehending about all the aspects of real estate. Not everyone wants to be on the forefront and do sales. Right. I was in my office writing an offer at 10 o'clock at night. I finished a showing at 8:30 last night, wrote an offer. It's not, yeah. I mean, everyone has their boundaries and they're, they run their business 9 to 5, but I definitely do above beyond to perform at best for my clients. And we want to get it done. We want to provide best service. But guess what? I am absolutely happy that you said, I don't want to do the sales side, but I really know, I know my place, and
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of
legwork behind it that people just don't see.
Yes. Yes. So with that being said, I am totally celebrating that you are on today, as not just when we talk residential, and for people who are new to the concept of real estate, residential by our definition in the industry is 1 to 4 units, 1 to 4 properties. And when you go from beyond 4, which is 5 and up, you now are dabbling in commercial real estate. And Corwin actually inspects both residential and commercial. And what's really cool about Corwin right now is that he is an owner. This is a businessman who runs a team and a staff. And I saw that, by the way, y'all shut down for the team meeting and development. Tell us a little bit about that. I may be jumping ahead, but I'm just...
that was very important, because some of the challenges that you have when you begin to grow, not just within real estate, but within any capacity, people know you as being the face, the brand, and for you to really scale, you have to be able to train other people and develop protocols and systems to allow them to go out and have the same amount of success as you. One of the pushbacks that we were getting initially, as a matter of fact, someone called me earlier in the week on it. They said, Corwin, we love the fact that you're growing, but we only want you to come out on inspection. So what we're doing is we're building brand cohesion, meaning we're making sure all of our inspectors, that they all describe issues within the same tone, the same manner. We don't even call things problems. We call them potential concerns.
Very good.
And then we educate the buyers on what needs to be done to get those items resolved. So that team meeting that you saw, that was something to make sure we had systems in place to ensure that the clients are getting the value that they need.
I'm so happy. That is amazing. And I think that is similarly to what I'm experiencing, right? People want me, and I have a team.
Yeah.
And so it's being able to, I liked what you called it. What you called the cohesion? What'd you call it?
Absolutely. Well, I call it brand cohesion.
Brand cohesion.
Because we all need to. So one of the things, I spend a lot of time kind of, we'll do lunch and learns for different brokerage offices and different agents. And one of the ways I explain it to them is, hey, if you're traveling abroad and, let's say you see Josie's Diner and then you see a McDonald's. Well, guess what? You already know what's on that McDonald's menu. You know what to order. You know exactly what it's going to taste like.
Right.
Well, if you call Core Inspection Group, even if you don't get me, you know what that guy is the uniform he's going to be in. He's driving the same truck as I am. You're going to get the exact same inspection report. So we're now making sure we're building a brand, a team within a Core Inspection Group, and it's not just, hey, I'm going to have Corwin Jackson show up on a home inspection.
Perfect. And for those who are listening, in terms of where you may potentially fit in this $1 trillion industry, I'll say that again, and that's an annual number, by the way. It's $1.3 trillion annually, and it's not in sales and commissions alone from the agents, but it's everyone that's involved, like Core Inspection Group and the other vendors and the contractors and everyone who makes this possible. Y'all better get hip to it. I'm like, they get hip to it.
About how many different professionals are involved for a successful real estate transaction. You're going to have a title guy involved. Obviously, you're going to need you're going to need insurance for the property. You need an appraiser to come in for the property. The home inspector. Guess what? You need that realtor, and she is kind of balancing all balls and make sure everything stays up in the air.
Right.
So I guess what's critical is, I guess sometimes agents say, well, maybe if I don't want to be the real estate agent, maybe I fit in on the insurance side. Mm-hmm. Maybe I want to be a home inspector. Maybe I want to be an appraiser. But when you mention that it's $1 trillion industry, I mean, I think there's room for you to find a seat on the bus.
Exactly. So I jumped ahead because I was so excited that we made it work. I was like, yay, Corwin is on. Core Inspection Group is in the building.
I was not going to throw in a towel until we got this thing situated.
Yes, and I really appreciate your patience with it all. So thank you. Let's scale back. So let's kind of bring it back a little, because this show is really about bringing it back to basics and breaking it down. Absolutely. So as a professional inspector, what is a property inspection?
So the property inspection is an opportunity for the buyer to get a good look at what they're buying and fully understand any deficiency that's going on within the property before they take ownership of it. This is their opportunity to see, hey, what type of roofing system do I have? What's the life expectancy of that roofing system? Are there any structural concerns? Right. There's a little thing called termites that's kind of important. In other words, destroying insect activity. So typically, this house is going to be one of the largest financial transactions that buyer is going to make in a lifetime. And typically, most people are only going to purchase 1 to 4 homes. So in doing that, they want to do their due diligence and bring in a professional so that they can make heads or tails out of the structural components, the heating system, the roofing system, all those things that are critical to the house.
Right. Very, very important. And listen up, you all. What did I said in the caption? Inspect what you buy.
There you go.
Inspect what you buy. Yep. And it's actually you're out of a contract if you decide it's too much for you to handle.
There you go. So one of the things that we tell our clients is that typically, and that's specific to this market because there's low inventory, during that home inspection, that's the most time that they're going to spend in the house before they make the purchase. So if you have any questions about the house, how it's functioning, the life expectancy of that heating system, this is a time we all want happy clients. The last thing we want is someone to do all that work, get to the settlement table, and they're unhappy with the house, right? So this is an opportunity to ask all of those questions and to make sure that you're happy, you're comfortable, and this is a go. You want to be at the home inspection because you're paying that professional to be there, and you want to frankly overwhelm him with any questions that you may have. Right.
Very, very important to ask the questions. That is the time to ask. And I am a huge advocate of that. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I was going to say, what's so funny? Typically, we'll get 1 or 2 clients. We'll get one client who comes in and they're all focused on color schemes or, what type of furniture that they want to put where. And we're kind of catching up with them to bring them up to speed on our findings. And we have the other client that's kind of shoulder to shoulder with us throughout the inspection. They want to know where the shutoff is for the electric panel. They want to know where the water meter is. You want to be that client.
Right.
Because that's your opportunity to learn everything about that house.
Right.
So you want to be that client that's shoulder to shoulder with that inspector every day. Now, don't get me wrong. We also get the guys that say, hey, well, I see you're putting a ladder up. Can I go up on the roof with you?
No, I don't think my insurance will cover it.
Hey, well, you must have heard my spill before because that's exactly what we tell them. That's just not good for our insurance. But you know what? We'll make sure we take plenty of pictures for you and they'll all make it into that report.
Right. So then I was going to say that. Great. Please share with them what the report looks like and when to expect the report once it's done. Because people who have no concept of the home inspection, or is it just a verbal? What are they getting when they're paying for a home inspection?
That's an awesome question. So typically, you're going to get a report within 24 to 48 hours of completing that home inspection. It is a good idea when you guys are looking for that home inspection. First, you want to check his online reviews, and then you also want to call there and ask for a copy of that home inspection report. That report should be fully comprehensive. You should feel like you can read that without needing, let's say, some type of engineering degree.
Okay. Right.
So in that report, typically we're going to know everything that's either acceptable, marginal, or defective. Now, what I'll tell our clients is, hey, we're not going to encourage you to ignore anything listed as marginal, but certainly everything listed as defective, those are the items that they're at the end of their serviceable life, likely more costly to repair.
Right.
So those are the things that you either want to try to negotiate a credit for, or try to negotiate to get those repairs done prior to you guys going to settlement. So that's a great question. That home inspection report is really, really important.
Very good. And you segued into where I wanted to go with that, about potentially saving more money on your purchase. So you talked about negotiating, and people feel like negotiation ended when the offer was accepted.
Well, you know what? The good news for the buyers is that typically once that home inspection report comes back, you guys go into another round of negotiating.
That's right.
Because because that initial offer was typically you understanding the house as whole, other than things that were mentioned in the seller's disclosure.
Right.
And sometimes we'll go in and we'll find things that could truly offset the value of the home.
Right.
So yeah, you guys absolutely go into another round of negotiating, we'll call it.
Right. And see, that right there is a gem of an inspector. These are real estate gems. Be sure to hashtag real estate gems when we are talking about people who are advocating for you. This is someone who you've hired, who is now part of your team, and is, like he said, looking for things to offset so that you can make sure you're fully aware, there's full disclosure. And when you're dealing with big ticket items, what is the condition of those items? Because those are what's going to cost you in the long term. So, oh my goodness. And it's always my favorite time when it's inspection time, because, you know, clients tend to be they feel overwhelmed. Oh, please, let's debunk the pass or fail concept. People think you pass or fail a home inspection. Let's talk about that.
That is a great point. That is a great point. Typically, one of the other points that you brought up is who that inspector is working for.
Yeah.
So we're not there to work for the lender. We don't represent the agent. The client hires us. We're working specifically for them.
Right.
So in terms of things being a pass or fail, it's really up to their level of comfort. And I'll give you a great scenario.
Please.
I was recently working with a first-time home buyer where her dad was a roofer. He didn't get the opportunity to come out on the inspection. But when I got off of the roof, I basically told her that roof is at the end of its serviceable life. She'll need to replace it. Now, there were some other minor things going on with the house, meaning some of the windows didn't close properly and some of the electrical outlets weren't grounded.
Yeah.
She said, well, I'm not worried about the roof. I don't want those things resolved. I just want the more minor things resolved, because guess what? My dad's going to come in and take on the roof.
Okay.
So really, when you talk about a pass or fail, it's really the comfort level with that buyer and the things that he or she may feel comfortable moving forward with, versus the things that she's going to say, you know what? I want these items resolved before I take ownership of the house. Then they'll work to negotiate those repairs. But it's truly up to them, because in most scenarios, our clients are going to say, well, you know what? I don't want to purchase a house and then have to get a roof done or the roof put back on. But in her scenario, she had that support team.
You know, that's so timely that you mentioned that. I'm actually an escrow on a property with the same exact scenario. She's like, my dad's a contractor. I just want to make sure, you know, We did the drain line and everything. She just wanted to make sure all the little stuff, she said, but yeah, my dad's a contractor and he can take care of that. So
a lot of the things that like some of the super agents really hit on when we wrap up the inspection, and they say, well, he's going to send us back the inspection report. I'm going to sit down with you, but I really want you to tell me which of these items are most important.
That's right.
You know, because it's truly up to the client what they want to move forward to get resolved.
That's right. And let me say this, that brings us to a point in time, and this is very critical that I say this now, since we're talking about negotiating and repairs and home inspections, that your request, unless the contract states that the seller is going to agree to do either lender required repairs or city retrofits, the seller is actually not obligated to meet all your demands or meet what we call your wish list. We do call it a wish list. It is a wish list. And so I'm priming you now that when you step into that arena and you get the home inspection, I'm going to recap here. As Corwin said, it's not a pass or fail. And I really appreciate that, Corwin. You said it's to the comfortability of the client. It's what you're comfortable with. So very good. Oh, this is good, y'all. Because this is where I wanted to really address. And because here's the thing, Corwin, right? This is what's really what I'm wanting to share and use the platform for. You know, we do see mainstream media shows selling, buying, negotiating, closing, recording, funding, appraisals, inspections, all happening in 25 minutes, plus commercials.
Well, yeah, so you know what's interesting? So I'm learning that most consumers don't know that they need a home inspection or even that they're going to get one until they get to that point in a transaction. Or typically, I know a lot of times agents will have that consultation as soon as they start working with their buyers, like, hey, here are the steps that you're going to have.
Right.
You know, I'll tell you, in interviewing potential inspectors, I always ask them the same question. Are you familiar with any home inspection companies? Have you worked with any of them before? And most of them will say, there are none that I know of. I can't name any. You know, so really, unless you are in this arena, you know, home inspection, particularly as a career, is something that's flying under the radar, unfortunately.
Right. And see, this is, so listen up, you all. You don't have to go get your state license to go learn real estate and to sell real estate, to be part of real estate. Corwin is running Core Inspection Group, which is a growing company. He talked about how to scale how he's been managing scaling his business. And I really appreciate the brand cohesion, especially because we all want to do well. We enjoy what we do, but we also want to be working on our business and not in our business.
There you go. So a funny thing about that, I know once you first, any of us as an entrepreneur, once we get rolling, we fight so hard to get that phone to ring.
Yes.
That means everything in the world. So then we get to the point, fortunately, where we say, you know what, this phone is ringing off the hook. I have not had a moment to myself in months, right?
Right.
So then, you know, you kind of get to the point where it's either scale, bring more people on board, or, you know, unfortunately, the business is going to run you.
Right. It's exactly. And it's so funny how very synchronistic this conversation, this show, the timing of everything is, because that's what's, I'm having such a growth, and it's great because the accolades are coming, the recognition is coming, we're growing, we're getting more support, we're broadening our reach, and really my phone, texts, and emails, I'm feeling like, well, wait a minute, I just had to tell myself today, Lisa, you cannot do everything. You cannot do everything, and people will understand that you are still human. Yes, you're running around here calling yourself super agent as my trademark, but it just means, you know, I'm an advocate, right? I'm an advocate for the industry.
There you go. So what I'm learning is, as long as we get they get the same value when we are managing remotely and we don't have boots on the ground, as I call it.
Yes.
As long as they feel like they're getting the same value, then they'll be fine.
Right.
If they feel like, you know, once your protege steps in, or the folks that have been working as an assistant, but now they're up and running, if they feel like they're missing some things there, then certainly. But I think one thing we all as business owners have to be mindful of is, guess what? Our clients, they have options.
Right.
You know, they have options.
Very true.
We got to make sure that we're, you know, providing with the value that they need.
Right. Oh, that is well said. Well said. So I wanted to touch on residential versus commercial. I personally like to learn more and grow more in doing 10 units and under. So those are small apartments. And I had an opportunity to do a commercial deal and learn through my partners as well. So for those who are listening, because we have audiences with various experiences, so we touched on residential home inspections. Let's talk about a little bit key points to when you're dealing with inspecting commercial property. So of course the multi-units. Well, let's talk about multi-units then.
Yeah. So typically, a lot of things that come up with the residential aren't included within the scope of the inspection with commercial. So some of those things, such as removing all of the electric panels within a residential inspection, it actually doesn't come up on a commercial side. One of the things that I find really interesting is just the type of, I'll say, clients that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because if someone is buying a commercial property, you have someone with a business acumen, and it's strictly about business and the numbers.
Right.
So they want to really get into the detail of what something's going to cost to replace. On the flip side of the coin, if you're dealing with someone in residential, unfortunately, a lot of them are already emotionally invested into those properties. Mm-hmm. They already see their family moving in there. They already envision their kids going to that school, right?
Right.
So what we train our inspectors to do is don't just give them the problem, give them options for a solution as well. Because if you go in there and you simply make them aware that, hey, you have a lead service main, they are thinking that this house is stuck with a health issue forever, right? Because they don't know any better.
Right.
You can put a filter on that line, which could remove all the lead deposits. If you wanted to spend more money, you can get that lead line dug up and you can get the copper installed. Now, if it's someone buying a commercial property, they only care about what that's going to cost them, right? Mm-hmm. If it's someone purchasing a residential, then their concerns are more of that safety or health issue is now removed completely.
Very, very important. And you hit it exactly where I expected you to, because I just shared this with a new client I did an intake for, and we were talking about residential and it being an emotional investment, as you stated, and commercial. I see all the time, it is strictly about the numbers.
Yes, it's strictly about the numbers.
It's about the numbers.
See a lot in this market. We see people going above asking just to secure that price on the residential side.
Right.
You're not going to see that much on commercial. People prefer to hold until the market shifts as opposed to buying because it's truly an investment as opposed to a place of comfort or a home for the family.
Right. Oh, very, very important, you all. Be sure, if you're joining us for the first time, again, check out the archives, tune in, listen to the replay. There's definitely important real estate gems that have been dropped on this show today thus far as it relates to property inspections. And we're on with Corwin Jackson, owner of Core Inspection Group. He's based out in Philadelphia. And again, it is great to have the team, the network, and the professionals to take their time and to support what we're doing. So Corwin, thank you again. Thank you again.
Hey, you're very welcome. I definitely enjoyed being here. It's an honor.
Yes. So as the last, just to kind of make sure people are connecting and supporting you as well, because you definitely, what I look for in terms of team building and referring out vendors, and when we bring people on board to work with our clients, I really love the comfortability I have with you and the ease of the way you explain and share information, and the goal of not killing real estate deals with saying, oh my gosh, you need a new roof.
That's a good point. And you know what? That's one of the questions we get a whole lot is, hey, we want to make sure we're not bringing in an inspector that's going to send our clients running for the hills.
Right.
You know, we take the educational approach.
Yes.
You'll see on the back of the cards, all of our business cards actually says we remove the fear from the home buying experience.
Yes.
And we don't do that by turning a blind eye or being quiet about items. We do it by not just identifying a problem, but also identifying different solutions to that problem, different options. Hey, do you need a tear-off for the roof versus needing a coating, and what does that look like financially?
Right. Oh, that's so important. Very, very good. He's giving you tips on dealing with lead pipes, you know, those old pipes. A lot of these properties are dated, you know. I mean, that's the reality of it. It's resale. And unless you're dealing with new construction, but even new construction also has their issues, you know. Go ahead.
In your market, let me ask, Lisa, what's the average age of the homes in your market?
Oh, we're about 90 to 100 years old.
90 to 100. Awesome. Great. And the reason I ask is because we've recently introduced a new service in our region, which is a sewer scope inspection, where we'll basically take a camera and we'll run it into the waste line, into those cast iron drain lines.
Wow.
And one of the reasons for it is that, as you know, we're in one of the oldest cities in the country here in Philadelphia. And a lot of our clients and just home buyers in general, they were purchasing homes and didn't realize or anything underground is not within the scope of the inspection. So, of course, they would move in, they would get settled, and they would realize that they had a blockage or a failure on that main waste line.
Yeah.
Typically, to replace that, they're going to spend somewhere between $6,500 and $8,500, right?
Yeah.
So, again, we want happy home buyers.
Right.
The only way to resolve that is to add that new service where we can then remove that access cap. We'll take a camera, we'll run it into those drain lines, and we'll confirm what's going on down there. And I'm just wondering if that is in your market as well, or if you've seen other inspectors do that.
Oh no, our inspectors are general. Then they do general inspections, and then if the client wants to do something like that, which I did have a client wanted to pursue that, it was an additional out-of-pocket $200 for her to do that. So you're winning. You're winning already.
Yeah, so another point is there. So some of the clients, they don't understand what's within the scope of the inspection, like what they're paying for.
Right.
And then you'll have what we call ancillary services that they need to add on.
Right.
Meaning if you want to get a mold or air quality test done, if you want to get a radon test done, obviously a termite inspection done, all of these other items that they may have a concern about. But if that inspector isn't saying, hey, these are additional services, lead paint testing, air quality testing, some of them may assume that those are things that the inspector is already looking at.
No, at least when I work with my client, I'm very clear of what the expectations are, and the inspectors will actually have that disclaimer with them before he begins. And says, yes, he definitely lays it out and sets the tone expectations of what is being inspected. And like you said, those ancillary services, or if those additional inspections are required or are in need, then they need to be referred to those specialized contractors of that field. So yes.
As long as we are communicating that, and it sounds like we are.
Right. Very good. Very good. Yep. What is the best? So I've got To learn more and connect with Core Inspection Group, coreinspectiongroup.com. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
What is the best contact number for people to reach you? Say it twice so they can schedule if they're in your service area, and let them, you know, I mean, you came through Anthony, and Anthony's doing amazing things. I know he's been a top producer in his area.
Team is growing also.
And he's growing.
And Anthony's team is really growing. I'm certainly proud of those guys.
Yes.
That's contact number. If you guys want to reach us, and we'll be waiting for the phone to ring, we're at 215-987-7547. Again, that number is 215-987-7547. And that's for Core Inspection Group, where our core focus is your home.
I love it. I love it. Corwin, are there any, I mean, the time we made it work, I thank you. And this was so good. This was very, very, I feel very full right now, even though this is what I do. You know?
Yeah, well, Lisa, I'm just going to say I'm a fan of yours.
Thank you.
I watch the things that you do closely. You're also a leader in the community.
Thank you.
So when I got the invite, I felt like a kid waiting for Christmas. So
yes,
certainly appreciate that you took the time to bring me on.
Yes, it was very important because you know what the significance in terms of diversity, representation, and just showing all aspects of this industry. And you embody that. I'm really proud to see, especially when I saw, like I said, the development aspect of it. That for me was like, you put it over the top for me in terms of someone who is in this business to really grow and represent us well. And that for me, is gold mine. Any last remarks or comments you want to leave with our listening audience? Some fancy tips that they should know of? Please, let's hear it.
I'm going to leave 3 top tips for finding a great home inspector. One, you want to listen to that realtor. You want to listen to that real estate professional, because she's seeing tons of home inspectors, some that are really good and some that are not. 2, check the online reputation of that home inspector. We live in a day and time where if people are happy or unhappy about that home inspector, then they're going to be vocal about that. And if he doesn't have any comments online, that means something also. And the third one is going to be, hey, take the time to pull up a home inspection report that he's done previously. That way you can fully understand what you're getting into, if that report is something that's comprehensive and it makes sense, or if it's something that you now need to hire someone else just to read it. Lisa, I know I monopolized most of the time here. Again, I'm appreciative that you took the time to reach out. And sure, we have to do a video thing now.
Look, you see, I told you, I said, this was phenomenal.
I know how important your time is. I know how important it is, and I don't want to keep pulling on it,
Yes. No, thank you so much. Thank you. This was a joy to have. And we definitely hit on all the points that I at least wanted people to really get when we're talking about expectations, what to expect. There are a lot of newbies out there that are listening to me. And not only that, but this is a digital footprint for our future generation. So people not yet born are going to be tuning in and listening to the segment on property inspections. And what a joy and honor to be a conduit for the message for the future. Corwin Jackson of Core Inspection Group, thank you so much. And we'll definitely reconnect to get you on the live and do the video. You guys, this was amazing. Be sure to check the replay. Let somebody know what we're doing. Again, this show is here to support our nonprofit Real Estate 100 Youth Foundation. Real Estate 100 Youth Foundation. All right, we are a nonprofit doing amazing things, and the first in the country that is real estate focused for the youth and young adults. We'll see you next week on Ready, Set, Real Estate.
Awesome, guys. Take care.